Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful episode of the Wednesday Morning Digest. We are coming to you live here on Elevate Television, where we are advancing kingdom lifestyle. This is Collins Otas, and I'm taking you through this journey today. And with me in studio is a wonderful lady. I've known her for a while, and she's doing amazing stuff in the gender space in the country. And as you are aware, probably, we are doing the 16 days of gender activism, and she's a key pillar in that process. I don't want to do much introduction to her because she needs no introduction. So I just say with me on set is Purity Jebor to talk about the youth and the gender space. What are the opportunities, what are the challenges, how can the young people overcome these challenges, and what is this 16 days of gender activism all about? So Purity, welcome on set. Just maybe you can just look at this camera and just introduce yourself to the viewers so that they know who is Purity. Why are you here today on Matters Gender Space? Is it because you're just a lady, or is there something more you're bringing to the table?
Thank you so much, Otas. I don't wish to start with your last words. Gender, because I'm bringing something on the table because I'm a woman. My name is Purity Jebor, and I work with Collaborative Center for Gender and Development, where I support the youth coordination. So majorly, my organization is more on gender and development, where we try to advance, we contribute and promote the gender discussion in the country, especially on issues where we feel there is marginalization, there is a policy gap, and also empowerment gaps in the community. That is the areas that we really focus on, trying to amplify the integrate the issues of gender in development processes, not just at the national government, but we also work closely with the county government. Like yesterday, part of the things that we do is also to promote the public-private partnership. Yesterday, we did sign an MOU with the Kajiado County to come up with a childcare facility. So that shows the advanced issues that we are also championing in order to promote the well-being of children and also the well-being of young mothers who have to go or cross over the border as they engage in businesses. So the MOU is supposed to ensure that the children of these young mothers are going to have a safe place for them to be in so that the mother can be at her full potential as she is engaging in other economic activities. But not just women. I'm so passionate about youth because I think I take pride as a youth, and the Bible is very clear. Ufurahie ujana wako. And I think that is where I am right now. I am amazed, I am inspired, and I am taking advantage of my period before I transition. So today I'm here to share more on how youth can take part in advancing the gender spaces in the country.
Exactly. And you see, you said, ufurahie
ujana wako.
Mimi sitajaribu Kiswahili. Kiswahili is not my mouth. Anyway, so all these things, gender and what have you, you know, on Wednesday, on this set, we focus on the young people, youth. And maybe a young person is watching us and they're wondering, what is this gender? What is gender all about? What is this gender space? What is it? Because you're working for Center for Gender
Collaborative Center for Gender and Development.
Yes. So they're wondering, what is this gender development? Because some of us, when we were growing up, before we became enlightened, when you talked of gender, we are just thinking of male and female. Little
Oh,
did we
yeah.
know that was simply the sex, not the gender.
Not the gender
But
aspect.
so now what is this gender thing? Even before we get to the opportunities, what is gender?
I think, allow me first to define who a youth is. According to the Kenyan Constitution
So,
of
so this is my show, but to
10.
answer your question, okay?
Let me define who a youth is in this country. So a youth is any individual between the age of 18 and 35, regardless of your sex, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of where you're staying. As long as you're within that youth bracket, between 18 to 35, then you're considered to be a youth. But we have a term called young people. So the young people, mostly it is more of a political statement, because everyone above 35, they call themselves as young people. Even when their nomination, the opportunities, they say that we've given it to the young people. But when you go further, you are going to find that the young people are people in between 35 and 45. But the Kenyan Constitution has defined a youth of Kenya as age between 18 to 35. So when I talk about gender, the CCGD is a gender hub. So gender is how we have been socialized, either as a girl, a boy, a man, or a woman. So gender are the things that has defined us, the norms that we have already been brought up to. It has already been nurtured in us. It could be our environment. So today, for instance, if you're coming from Kisumu Dala, and you're coming from Vihiga County.
You had to mention Kisumu.
I have to mention Kisumu.
Okay, okay.
So, this young person of 19 years, a boy, I don't want to use otas, or this, and a young man of 18 years from Vihiga, let's say Chanzu, they're going to behave differently. Because their practices and norms in Vihiga, they're totally different. And the practices in Kisumu Dala, it's totally different. It could be in Vihiga. I'm used to waking up in the morning as a young boy. I have been accustomed to ensure that I've milked the cow. I have gone to fetch water. But of this, in Kisumu, he only knows to wake up in the morning and go to fishing.
And maybe drive a Prado or something.
Or drive a Prado,
Yeah, you know,
or a Benz. But you see, for Chanzu, Chanzu will be more on riding a donkey when he's going to fetch water. And this will not see the need of him going to fetch water, because he's used to seeing the mother and the sisters doing that. And that is what these will grow up knowing. And that is gender. And whereas Chanzu will grow up to know that it is okay to support my wife. It's okay to support in taking part in domestic work. So as they grow up, just remember these are the young boys who are growing up. And the moment they start having their family, they're going to practice the same virtues. So all these will never be supporting the wife in the house. He'll always be on CNN watching news and following on understanding how the global politics is all about. While Chanzu will always be ensuring that the family is at peace. The wife has less time, so that less time reduced in performing unpaid care work, so that they can have some developmental discussion at the household. So that is how gender is. So the same virtues is what the two young men are going to nurture in their children. So even if when they come into politics, it is the same virtue. That is where you'll find we have the female politician, the male politicians who are really supportive of the women agenda. And we have those of other opinion. It's because how they have been nurtured, their environment, even religion. Today we're in church. How the children are being taught in Sunday school, it actually informs their future engagements. If today a child is taught how to pray before food, on how to take up responsibility, even allowing the boy child to allow the girl child to pray. You know, that is a behavior that you are trying to raise up this boy with. And that is the same virtue. So that when he'll be in a leadership position or growth, he's going to ensure that the female colleagues will always have an opportunity. And that is what gender. So gender is not about women. Gender is about the goodness of the community.
Wow. Wow. That explanation is quite elaborate. But before we proceed, I just want to inform you that we are live on Elevate TV on Facebook and on YouTube. In fact, you have the link now. You can share with your brother Kipsang. I know he's watching. Kipsang, all the way from Ruiru, bro. Hey, manze, your shout out Nilipata. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. So, Purity, we've defined, even as you share the link, probably on your timeline or something, we've defined gender as it were. But now then, the focus now is the youth. Now we know gender. We know who the youth are. So what is it that gender has for the young people, especially during these 16 days of gender activism? Because in most cases when people talk of gender activism, people just think of maybe sexual violence, the gender-based violence, the domestic violence. But I've noted that there are opportunities in the gender space. I remember, I think yesterday we were with you somewhere at the American corner, and there was a discussion about young people taking up opportunities. So what are these opportunities?
Yeah, I think we are marking the 16 days of activism, and activism is raising the voices on issues that you want to see being done differently. And our theme this year is to stop GBV. So when you talk about gender-based violence, you know, like most of the people think that GBV is about sexual harassment, defilement, you know, rape issues. That is part of GBV. But as a youth, some of the GBV things that we've actually faced in this country. Number one, the recently elected CS. Did we have a youth? You know, as in, you know, that is a GBV concern. Because Article 10 of the Constitution talks about inclusion. One of the national values, it's on inclusion. So when you are excluding a particular age, then you are advancing the GBV issue. Number two, we are also expecting the announcement of the CAS. We are looking forward this time to the president that at least he is going to abide by the Constitution and ensure that 2/3 gender rule is adhered to. The spirit of inclusion is also adhered to. But for the last 3 months, the National Youth Council has been convening youth of this country in all the 47 counties to come up with youth policies. Because from 2013, when the county government started being in operation, no county government has taken interest in coming up with a youth policy. And remember, it is a policy that defines where the money is going to be allocated. So in the absence of a policy, the issues on budgetary allocation is also a concern. So meaning, if you do an audit just on gender budgeting and you focus on the youth components, no county can be, as in, can come out with courage and say that we have taken intentional moves or practice or a framework that it is towards promoting youth engagements in my county.
I know Meru, Nandi, and probably Nairobi had something.
Yes. However, have they gone through the legislative process? Because until it is passed as the county assembly, then the county assembly cannot allocate money. So you find that most of the county, they don't have youth programs, informed youth programs, because of the absentia of that policy. The same county government, if you check also in the same youth departments, how many youth are working in that department?
They are youth at heart, probably.
The youth at heart, and that's why we say, when we say about youth and young people, we really need to be very clear about it. Are you talking about the audience, the youth audience, or you are talking about friends of the youth who are now the young people youth at heart. So those are some of the things that we go through in this country. It could be also another challenge that the youth of this country also face in terms of GBV is the exclusion in leadership position. And this one is more on the political engagement. We've just concluded our general election. And the statistics by the National Gender Equality Commission, from the 47 governors, we only have one youth governor, and he's a male. The senators, we only have 2 elected senators, and they're male. MPs, we only have 4 of them, and 3 are male. 1 is a female. MCA, that has the highest number, we have 10. And all of them are female. So you see...
So this 10 is across the country?
Across the country.
Okay.
So, and these are the 3 houses, the 2 houses that are very key in terms of policy development and budgets. So if we fail to be part of that space, then our issues might fail to be advanced. So there'll be no need of us having someone who will be talking about youth development, someone who will be championing on youth inclusion until we get a friend in that house. And this is why we are always encouraging youth. Please love politics. Don't say that politics, that siasa ni chafu. There's no siasa chafu. We are the people who are making siasa to look that dirty. But politics is a beautiful adventure. Because today, or task with your phone, there's politics that was discussed to determine the amount that watch is going to cost. There's politics that determined the taxation of that watch. There's politics that was discussed to see how much my gel Q-Tex is going to cost. So if we don't love politics, then we will continue accessing things within the shrinking economic environments.
Wow. I don't know whether to continue or to take a pause there, but we must love politics. And that definition of GBV, my friend, gender-based violence, you know, all this while I was thinking of gender-based violence and gender, I was just thinking about, say, somebody beating someone, some husband somewhere beating the wife and things like those. Little did I know that denial of opportunity is also gender-based violence. On the basis of gender is also gender-based violence. Well, now you know. We are talking to Purity Jabor on matters youth and the gender space. Now, Purity, you've really, really labored on the challenges. What has not been done? What is affecting the young people? What the young people probably are not doing? But probably the question is, what is the way forward? What is the solution? How many, do you have organizations sponsoring young people to vie, or do you have organizations that are creating safe spaces for the young people to maybe talk? What are the solutions that we have as at now that the young people can now tap into? Because if we continue blaming them and telling them they're not doing 1, 2, 3, then what is the way forward? What are the solutions? Now let us focus on the solutions so that indeed they can see that there are opportunities that they can tap.
Yeah, and I think for us, we focus on progression, to focus on the place that we want to see our youth being at. Coming maybe from, because the future, it could be in the next few hours. So we really aspire to focus on the future in order to prepare this young person as they transition to become productive senior citizen. So one of the things that we have done at CCGD, and it's a practice that I can also encourage other partners to also borrow, it's to create the safe spaces. Number one, like yesterday, we had a conversation with the young people, with the youth actually, from Kiambu and Kisumu. And some of the discussion we had was participation in governance processes. because there is an active law that the county government and the national government are supposed to engage everyone when they're coming up with the development. Right now, we have the County Integrated Development Plan. So we have been supporting the youth in the counties that we work in, and also sharing it outside on how they can participate in these developments. Number one, because it is key for them to participate in the CIDP making processes, because it's going to define our place in the next 5 years. If we wish to see youth department being created, then this is the time. If we wish to see increased budgetary allocation on youth engagement, then this is the time.
You know, maybe someone is watching us, and I can see my cameraman Busolo there. When you said the word CIDP, I've seen the way he's turned in his eyes. Probably you need to clarify what is CIDP, so that maybe somebody watching us right now can be able to understand. Because you just said the CIDP is ongoing. You know, for me and you, we may understand. But someone is watching us, they're wondering, now what is CIDP now? That's how you, surely.
So the CIDP, it's in full, it's County Integrated Development Plan.
Yes, yes.
It is a 5-year plan that the county envisions to achieve. So not just the county, same to the national government. So, but a lot is derived from the national government. And one of the reasons why I say we need to embrace and love politics, because the manifestos also play a key role in coming up with the with that 5-year development plan. So it is a process that we can take advantage of, create the safe spaces even as organization. Just have a candid discussion. We don't need presentation. We don't need to be technical. We even don't need to be speaking English. Let them speak in the language that they want to articulate their issues, because that is the only way that the youth can share on the areas that they need to be engaged and also improved on. And then we can also take action on ending violence. And it could be in terms of empowering the youth in terms of economic adventures. How can they be part and parcel in this discussion? So taking an intentional move to train the young women and men on how they can make money. Because the moment you make money...
I want to dwell there, empowerment. So I am watching Morning Digest now, and I'm seated somewhere in Kibra or Kayole, or Kawangware, or probably Ruiru, and I'm wondering, they're talking about empowerment, training. Where are these training?
Where are these training? You know, how many of us know where the youth enterprise offices are? They are in the 29 constituencies.
290.
To 90 constituencies that you can walk in that office. They actually hosted in the DCC's compound, most of these constituency-based offices, that you can walk in and ask where that office is. And there is an officer there who are actually employed by the government who will be ready to train you on that. They can also form the social grouping under the social development offices, still at the constituency. And after you get registered, there are those affirmative action funds that you can now start accessing. And we are talking about the Hustler Fund. Unajua jana, kuna mimi nilipata. I don't want to mention the television, but there was a youth who actually shared on how he's used his Hustler Fund. He said that he took 900. He bought a chicken at 700.
Hii ni ya kukula ama ya kufuga?
Ya kufuga.
Okay.
Then anajua in the next 3 weeks, itaanza kutaga mayai. You know, it is that simple, but just picture it. In the next 7 or 6 months, this youth is going to have how many chicken? If you know. So another thing is that you can at CCGD you can always reach out to us. If you're already in a group, we can come and train you or even invite you over. It don't have to be in a conference or a hotel. We can still do the training, regardless of where you are.
So at CCGD, that is Collaborative Center for Gender and Development, you train at no cost.
We will not charge you. Why should we charge
it's
you?
It's good to be clear. It's good
we
to
want
be clear.
you to be empowered. No. We have partners who have collaborated with us. And their objective, it is infusing with our strategic projection in strengthening the capacity of youth in economic engagement. Yes.
So like right now, if probably a youth reaches out, we can link them up with you, and then probably.
Please.
So is there a certain number of youths, or as long as they're in a group goes? Legally, a group should be made up of 10 people. So any 10 people qualify for a 10
people. Yes, we can guide you on how to be self-reliance.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ask any other question. I just want us to take a break because if the other bit that you're going to get into might stretch us a bit. But I want us to take a quick early break just to allow you to have a gulp of that content of that cup so that you can energize ourselves a bit, and then we come back for the second bit of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Morning Digest coming to you live on Elevate TV, where we are advancing Kingdom Lifestyle, and we are talking to one Purity Jabor, and we are just discussing matters, gender, space, and the young people. When you come back, we dwell more onto the opportunities. See you after the break. Nico Works Notas is a program that comes to you on Elevate TV every Friday at 7:30 p.m. In this program, we dwell into the journey of small and micro enterprises in the country.
Tulikuwa tunafulia watu manguo, wengine walikuwa wameandikwa house girls, lakini saa hii tumetoka hapo.
You can get the story from domestic workers to people handling 150,000 shillings per month. They're just 13 people. We look at the challenges that they're facing.
The city council will harass you for anything, whether you have documents or not. Roads, traffic, such things really affect us.
And we tap into the opportunities available in the sector.
Hiyo unit tulikuwa tunaambiwa tusikue employees, tujaribu tukue ma employers. So nikaamua naweza anzisha kakao kadogo mashinani.
So nilikaa nikaona badala niuze gas pekee, nikaanza na vitabu kidogo, books za kuandika na stationery. Nikasoga hivyo, after some time nikaona I still can sell the textbooks.
Join me, Colin Sotas, every Friday at 7:30 p.m. on Elevate TV, and let us journey together in this show.
We want to have a conversation about media growth and opportunities.
Digital age is shrinking working space and work opportunities. How do you survive?
That's the question. That's the elephant in the room.
You must evolve yourself to what they want.
What are you put in place? Cyberbullying and protection of the minors.
What Media Council of Kenya started is a program to train them on ethics, or you don't become accredited by Media Council.
What would you talk to the parents to be able to watch out for?
Parents should not leave the job to teachers and the government. It starts with them.
Mr. Maina Muiruri is the chairman of the Media Council of Kenya, a great contributor in this industry.
Catch Man Unveiled with Anthony Wanyoike and James Ireri every Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
So welcome back to the second bit of Wednesday Morning Digest here on Elevate Television, where we are advancing Kingdom Lifestyle. We're still here with Purity Jabor, and we are talking matters, gender space, and the young people. If you like, the youth and the gender space, the opportunities, the challenges, and Now we want to focus on the solutions. We just began before we went on the break, and she was talking about empowerment. And one of the facets, or rather one of the aspects of empowerment that she touched on was on training, where at CCGD, that name, CCGD, they do training. And this training, they do it at no cost. And as long as you're 10 people and you form that group of yours that is legally done, that is as per the government regulations, they will always come over and train you. And so we want to continue on that line. Apart from training, what other solution do we have for the young people in the gender space?
The youth can also take action on ending violence. And one of the things that they can do is, like the one I shared, creating the safe spaces and allowing them to speak in the language that they do understand and know how best to articulate their issues. It could be if it is the artist, sing, draw, write. If it's a dancer, dance. Because that is the only way that you can express yourself. If it is to speak to their parents, they can do letters. You can reach out to someone else who can speak on your behalf. So youth, if one of the things that we inspire us, it is to, if you look at it from this angle, youth are the potential victims of GBV. And they are also the potential perpetrators. So if we don't speak to them about GBV, then we are promoting victim to be available and also perpetrators to take advantage of someone who really doesn't understand of her rights. So one of the things, and I say, for you to be called a leader, you don't have to be influencing a higher level audience or environment. It can be within your hood alone. It could be you are a leader within your clique. Mayeng wako wote, wewe ndio kiongozi, wewe ndio kusema. You know, if you have a kiongozi who really understand issues, it's really easy for them to influence their followers or their believers. But if you have the otherwise, the same thing will happen. So they can also take action around ending GBV. And right now, we also need to take advantage of the digital space.
Now Purity, you know, when you talk about they can take action, and you're looking at this as a solution. So somebody is wondering, after taking action, mfuko haina kitu. Mimi nimeshinda hapo, mimi ni artist, nimeimba, lakini mfuko haina kitu. Mimi nimekuwa kiongozi, kila mtu ananiita chairman, lakini sina kitu. Kila mtu anataka kuomoka. So as we talk about GBV and as we take up the roles and dealing with that in the gender space, hii side ya mfuko inaangaliwa aje ama how does it come in?
You know, Otas, in an environment where GBV is a practice, no matter how much money or resources is going to be there, it will not be tapped.
Okay.
So until we ensure that the environment is free from GBV, then all of us will thrive. Because if it is free from the GBV, there's going to be security. And security will mean I can engage with my businesses up to night hours. If security is also there, I know that I can invest, I can go to the 24-hour economy as an enterprise, because security is there. And by that, by expanding my business, it means that I'll be able to employ more people into my company. So I will actually be contributing to pesa mfukoni kwa watu wengi. So until we address issues to do with GBV, because if security is there, then our young girls and boys will go to school knowing that there's no one who's going to harm them. You know, juzi tumeona the CEO of TSC crossing, going to deliver exam papers. Akikuwa kwa maji. And I was like, that is really nice. Let them have the first-hand experience of what our teachers go through. And you know that is GBV. Because where is it that the school is so far? Where is it that there's no another means of transport to the school? The only bit that, again, we were not sure is how the 2 young girls and boys reached the school. Because the water was at a high level. How safe for the student crossing the river? It means that when we are living in a free GBV environment, then everybody will be at their full potential. So until we address that, and another thing that again we can also take advantage, it is to promote inclusion of youth in decision-making processes and also in partnership. Because today, I've just mentioned, yesterday CCG got into a partnership agreement with Kajiado County to support the county, to partner with the county in coming up with a child care facility. Because when you talk about unpaid care work, not many people understand the economic contribution of unpaid care work. That is part of how we are responding in preventing and addressing GBV in marginalized community. Because look at this Maasai woman. What does Maasai woman be nurtured? What does the norm say about empowerment? What does the culture say about our engagement in economic activity? And the place of a woman that you know we should not reach in a level in a community where a woman has has to decide between economic engagement, political engagement, education, or family first. We should really not reach to that level. And that is why for us, we are very intentional in providing an alternative solution, an alternative practice that any other county can borrow from that. That as a county government, if there is a gap in terms of policy, there is a partner that you can come together, collaborate, and see how you are going to address that gap. And I think by doing that, you might think that the child care might not be that of influence. But you know, this woman is going to cross over and engage in business at peace, knowing that my child is secure in a child facility that is protected and owned by government. Because when government own up something, there is that trust with the public. So that is the contribution, because this woman will be able to pay her taxation. She's going to enable her family to also increase their household income. So it could be just one function, but the ripple effect is quite an amount. Another thing that youth can also spearhead. Today, as we are marking we're still marking the 16 days of activism. Youth, we say we are the majority. But it's time for us to start actualizing it. You know, you cannot deny the influence that audience has. And the only people who've seen, again, who've really taken note of that are the politicians. Why not community or development partner pick the same case study? Because when you look at politics, who are the mobilizers? Youth. Who go out to influence others to go and turn out and vote, coming up with a hashtag, slogan, strategizing for the political parties are youth. Who are the bloggers who can start up something, whether it is true or false? They're the youth, you know. But they influence the entire country. But when it comes to development, where are we?
Mkate kiko kwa meza, hawako.
Tuko, lakini ikiwa
inapigwa, wako.
Tuko. So, we need to create an environment where the place of mentorship will come in handy. That today, if we have, how many young, if you take what has just happened in the last election, how many young political leaders
have been elected? How
many of them have been mentored or have been taken by any senior politician to mentor that young person? That we don't want to live in a country where in 10 years we have a gap of incoming leaders. That mentorship is not just about in politics. We also need mentors in development. We also need mentors in policy. We need mentors across board. That it should be of interest that others today, if you leave being a presenter, there's someone that you've already identified and you've been mentoring. Because it's so sad when you live somewhere and then you see call for application. It means that there's something that you just did not do right. Or when you leave, how the event or the program was happening, it starts declining. It is a very bad indication.
So where do we get these mentors? Because now me as a young person, I'm seated here and I'm like, I need to grow to the next level. So where do I get these mentors? Do you have like mentorship programs around? Because we can talk here all day and discuss on how the young people can be mentored or need to be mentored. But the young people are asking us out there, yes, you tell us to be mentored. By who? Where are they? Who are they? How do you find them? Where are the contacts? Which organizations? You know, and what are the procedures towards mentorship?
I think there's no that formal procedure. And it's only that you're coming to the close of the year. But for the youth, they can still look up into our social media handles. We'll be having a mentorship platform.
So this is for CCGD?
For CCGD. I don't want to mention the organization that's already doing that because I don't know they're contractual with their mentors. But a mentor, number one, is how you present yourself. Because you could be somewhere and I like what you're doing and I need to mentor this young person. So the thing is we should show up. When we have an opportunity, please show up. And also seek for help. As in, we don't know everything. Everybody is learning daily. But if you're stuck and you want to upscale your engagement in a particular topic or venture, always look out for someone who, who has knowledge on that area. It could just also be the many, you know, people think the mentorship is just about having the one-on-one. Even the programs that we watch from the television, you know, that is kind of mentorship. Because there are some practices you are going to adopt and pick and start implementing. So we can still, you can combine both. But the thing is, you have to show up as a youth, but also be proactive. Because at times mentor may see that you're not interested. But the moment you show up and approach them and say, I wish that you mentor me in a particular area. So the place of youth in identifying mentors is also very key. But also as organization, it doesn't harm having mentors within your pool. So that if you have already identified a group of youth who are really interested maybe in policy, in gender, you can actually allocate them a mentor to walk the journey with them. But the thing is, we also need to know when to break. Because mentorship is not forever.
So you're saying we need to know when to divorce ourselves from the mentorship program?
At some point, yes, you have to divorce. Because the story of Lot and Abraham, at some point Abraham had to break the tie and say, go this way, I go this way. Until then, did God start speaking to Abraham. So the same Bible should also be a practical in our daily life. Don't be there to be mentored forever. As in, you need to grow. You just need to grow.
Why? So, manze, you have to grow. Hii story ati utakuwa mentored forever. Kuna. You need to grow, and you need to know when to divorce yourself from the mentorship program and when to detach. And at the same time, as she puts it, as a young person who is watching us, you need to come to a place of realizing the need to seek. You can't just sit and wait. You must seek. You must be aggressive. You must be proactive. the mentorship programs are out there, the organizations are there. Of course, we don't have permission to mention them, but I can authoritatively mention CCGD, where she comes from, and she's a very senior person there, so she is in a position to offer you a mentor. So that one is given, but the rest of them, you can just go online, you'll find those mentorship programs. Purity, my camera lady stock director is saying I only have 5 minutes, and she's very categorical. We might find ourselves talking off here before she sends us out of here. Maybe as we draw to the end, we've talked so much of what is gender, what is the youth, the opportunities, the challenges, and what have you. Now let's just give a summary. What is it that 16 days of gender activism means? Because this thing is celebrated annually. What does it mean? And what are some of the activities that the young people can tap into as this activity progresses even towards its end?
Oh yeah, so the 16 days is coming to an end on Friday, 10th, I think so. But it is a process where we are kind of revamping the activism on GBV. That it is a reminder that you don't have to wait for the 16 days of activism for you to do something for your community. It should be a continuous process, so that come next year's 16 days of activism, you are actually marking the indicators and say that this one we were able to amplify it within the year, we've been able to do this, and the areas that you've not been able to activate, it should now be your priority. Like today, in this country, we have the triple effect. So the issue of adolescent and young people, the youth, is actually, it's now a worrying statistics. Because if today we are losing our 12 to 24-year-olds, in the next 10 years, what generation are we raising? It should actually be a concern even to the government. That how much money are you going to use on health to take care of this number? And today is just 2022. What will be the statistics in the next 5 or 3 years? That these are the areas that youth can also be like the activist. If your health center is not providing youth-friendly services, speak about it. Because that is the only place that you can influence directly, because that is where when you get sick you go to. If you have insecurity in your zone, speak about it. If you have water challenges, speak about it. So that in the marking of 16 days of GBV, you'll have something to be happy about. That these 16 days of activism, I have taken stock of my year and say that I was able to contribute to 1 to 3. But I was also to advance my activism to 1 to 3. So in the country today, I am calling upon the youth of this country, together with our seniors, to help us in reducing the numbers of HIV infection, the teen pregnancy, and the early marriages. That is the call that you can have today, because that is my biggest worry, that next year I want to have a better statistics to see.
Wow. And you know, in the next 1 minute before we call it quits, I want you to look at this camera over here and just encourage a young person in less than 1 minute. Encourage a young person and just give them the details and contacts on how they can get to CCGD for those trainings or those empowerment programs.
All is not lost. This is a country that we have to protect for our future or our current children. We have to take charge of everything that is happening around it. You can visit our Facebook page, our Twitter, and our website at Collaborative Center for Gender and Development, and let us interact and see how best we are going to partner towards advancing the youth agenda, and also not just gender, but also promoting your well-being as an individual, as a group, or as a community. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our time. We've been speaking to Purity Jebor, all the way from Collaborative Center for Gender Development. They're based pale Westlands, hajakwambia hiyo. But if you go on their social media handles where she's directed you, you'll get all those details. Please, as young people, let's get in touch with these organizations. They have opportunities for us, trainings. They even link you up with employers and what have you. You can't miss. These are the opportunities you've been asking for, and we are bringing them to you right here on Elevate TV, where we are advancing Kingdom Lifestyle. God bless you so much. That has been our time. See you again next week on Morning Digest. We are out.